Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca with your live Pinpoint Doppler 12 Futurecast.
Well, 180 miles. We are going to miss a Category 1 hurricane by just 180 miles. A shift to the south and east obviously makes all the difference in the world. So this is not going to be a landfalling hurricane. We were never forecasting one to begin with, but the shift in the track even further offshore now, and that's why tropical storm warnings have been dropped for parts of our area, no longer in effect for southern Rhode Island. So even though the storm's out at sea, it is close enough for these fringe effects that we've been seeing, which is building waves, building surf, some precipitation and rain coming in offshore. The wind speeds, the gusts starting to increase, which will eventually max out tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. When we mean maximum wind, we're talking 40, 45 miles an hour in gusts along the coastline, and much higher the outer Cape, especially Nantucket. It wouldn't surprise me if Nantucket is gusting at times 60 miles per hour. That's why there's a tropical storm warning there. So that's it. The center of Jose is going to pass right about in this general area. 180 miles, actually more like 200 miles south east of Newport. You see the leading edge of the solid area of rain with the storm. That stays offshore, but we get these elements of moisture out ahead of it that'll be coming in off and on. So scattered showers continue tonight, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. So for tonight, it's a slow increase in the wind speeds. Wednesday, showers off and on, increasing wind, and then improving weather coming up on a Thursday. Here's the satellite and radar composite showing showers coming in. At times you get some heavier downpours, and there's the northern fringe of Jose. And this really looks, structure-wise, a lot better looking than it did yesterday when it was all kind of torn apart and elongated. You have a lot of symmetry with it right now. It has a more solid appearance to it. Though the Hurricane Hunter aircraft only measuring winds here at 75 miles per hour. It's just 260 miles south of Nantucket. And here's a different perspective, a Category 1 storm. And again, this will be tracking, well, it's already starting to turn more northeast and then bending to the right and taking some distance away from southern New England, or increasing the distance from southern New England. So a pass out to sea, but again, some fringe effects. The wind field associated with the storm, I mean, even though the storm itself stays well offshore, the winds extend in all directions. It's far reaching. So those tropical storm force winds, the areas in yellow extend for many, many miles out. But all of the real estate of strong wind is actually to the right-hand side of the storm. All this out here, this is what we miss. And we just get a little sliver of the backside with some gusty wind tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. North-northeast at 8, winds of 75. You have to have winds of at least 74 miles per hour to be a hurricane. So we're 1 mile above the threshold for a hurricane. So it's a weak hurricane, but it is creating a lot of agitated seas and big surf. The forecast track from the National Hurricane Center continues to show that bend away from New England. If anything, it tends to loop and kind of meander and stall for several days. And all this is going to do is just agitate the seas and send more swells and waves towards the coastline. So the high surf advisory, it may get extended for the next several days. You can see big waves. This area in orange indicating large waves offshore, and quite simply that wave energy comes towards the coastline. The net result is the dangerous surf at area beaches and the minor coastal flooding during high tide. Wind speeds 35 to 45 in this area in brown, essentially Providence south to the north and west of Providence. I mean, that's manageable. And you get New Bedford out towards Buzzards Bay, the Cape and the Islands, gusting between 45 and 55. And this is essentially where the tropical storm warning is. Meanwhile, Hurricane Maria, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Category 5 hurricane. This has winds of 175 miles per hour. Just an incredibly historic and sad hurricane season we've had. Very rare to have so many powerful hurricanes, and this one's headed right for Puerto Rico overnight and into tomorrow morning as a Category 5 storm. And this storm may actually be off the southeast coast of the U.S. by Sunday and Monday of next week. So another storm for the East Coast to watch next week. Futurecast shows the rain and wind tomorrow, better on Thursday, looking good for Friday, and a nice weekend ahead both Saturday and on into Sunday. So the storm stays out at sea, but we still get some impacts. You can download the Channel 12 weather app on your smartphones and on your tablets as well. I mean, it's only 30 miles an hour right now, but tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, especially if you're down by the water, by the beaches, it'll be blowing, 40, 45.
And over the next 24 hours or so, that's the time we got to watch it.
At least, yes.
All right,
yeah.
Thanks, Tony.